Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Music of the Week as my cat tries to find proper seating on my lap. Is that good for you? Are you gonna let me do the video now? So, we got about 6 albums to go through for this one. Let me bring the camera a little bit closer and yeah, we'll just get through them because there's 6, that's quite a lot. We are starting off in Mesa, Arizona for Authority Zero with their 8th album, Ollie Ollie Oxenfree. Now, this one actually came out in June. This is the only album in this episode that didn't come out actually not last Friday, but the Friday before. And this is the band's 8th album. They've been around for a long ass time, though, like since the mid-90s at least. And yeah, I loved this. I love this, I'm not gonna lie. Giving it an A+. Really enjoyed a lot of the lyrics to it. Loved a lot of the musical dynamics, how they were able to work in so many different sounds because they've been doing this kind of shit for a long time. So they were able to work in different sounds quite easily. Solid riffs, really good solos, great performances. Really good production too. Like, it's all tied together really wonderfully. There's a lot to go around. It's not overly done. The production is just really, really solid in that regard. So yeah, goddamn. I was sort of swayed by a couple of reviews because I've been reading more reviews on these albums lately, but yeah, this one was just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, give this one a go if you're vaguely familiar with Authority Zero, and they've been around for over two and a half decades. So I would be surprised if you don't know enough about them. This is my first full album by them. Really enjoyed it. Next we go to Sacramento, California for Destroy Boys with their 3rd album, Open Mouth, Open Heart. Now, I'm familiar enough with this group. I think I've heard a couple of songs besides from this album, but I think this is my first full album by them, and you know what? It's really solid writer goal, leaning punk. Giving it a B. It does suffer a lot from the typical feminist punk issues of really being sort of one note in terms of the lyrics, and a couple of the songs are over quite quick, but there is some really interesting elements at play, and a lot of it is done quite well. There's one thing I did want more of, though, which is something I'll cover with a couple of the other bands after following this album, actually. Which is, I wanted more songs done in Spanish, because Spanish punk is actually a really cool-ass sound, and I wanted a couple more songs done in that style. There's only like 2 of the, I think, 10 or 11 songs on this album. So, yeah, I did. Oh, he's just looking. I did want a bit more of that, but what I got, I won't complain about. Still solid lyrics, really good instrumentation, really heavy and crunchy and in your face. Good production for this genre as well. You don't really get that a lot these days. Solid performances. I just wish there were more of a unique feel to it, but for what it is, you know, it's as good as it needs to be, and it is really damn good. Next up is The Last Gang with their 3rd album, Noise Noise Noise. Now, The Last Gang formed, according to Wikipedia, at some point in the 2000s. Took them a while though. Their debut came out in 2013, the second one came out in 2018, their 3rd one, and my first by them, came out a couple of weeks ago. And, yeah, this was sort of one of the bands I was alluding to when I was talking about Destroy Boys, in that I wish there were a sort of Spanish song on here, because it feels like they could have done it, but still, giving this album an A. Really fucking enjoy this. Really good female punk. A lot of sort of really great ska and reggae used in the punk as well, used in the band sound, which actually fit in quite well. Even more so than I would say Authority Zero's did, but then again, Authority Zero didn't do it as much. But you know what? Still, that album still rocks, as does this one. Like the lead singer, whose name I do have, Brenna Red, she taps into her inner Brody Dalle at points, and I'm good with that because Brody Dalle is better than Joan Jett. I have said that before, I'll say it again, I will stick to that. She is Joan Jett, but, you know, better. And yeah, really liked the album's, like, pacing is really, really good. Love the instrumentation to it. I wish there were some solos, but I won't complain about that. Really good build-ups to really heavy points as well in terms of structuring. Yeah, really like the performances. And I am looking forward to what the next album will bring, because this was honestly a really, really fun female-led, raspy bit of female punk. So yeah, I'd recommend this one as well. It's really good. Next up we go to New York City, New York for Non-Residents with their debut album Against Police Brutality. If you can guess what the lyrical themes are to this one, I will give you a cookie. I have plenty of Oreo cookies. I've eaten half of them, but I still have some. So yeah, debut album. I always look forward to the debut, especially if it's a hardcore punk / crossover thrash sort of debut, because, you know, heavy shit is often really good. Before I grade this album, I do want to get the problems I have with it out of the way. One, it doesn't really do a whole lot outside of its own genre that feels unique, and two, I don't know if it's just the lead singer or the rest of the band, but they're clearly not native English speakers because the lead singer has a very thick Spanish accent. I'm giving this album a B minus. It was still really, really good, right? But god damn it, you know how I have for Destroy Boys I wanted a couple more songs in punk? I think Non-Residents would have benefited more with this album if it were entirely in Spanish. You know? Like, I mean, like a couple of songs in Spanish for Destroy Boys, I completely got it wrong, but my point still stands for Non-Residents. I think if they stuck to like their native language, or at least the lead singer's native language, this album would have been a lot fucking higher. Like, there were teasers of it, and I really wanted more. And there's a couple of like, really short songs to satisfy the purists that have never done anything for me. Just like, give me songs, not just ideas of songs. But still really solid punk. Again, abrasive in your face, really good lyrical content. And yeah, I genuinely liked the performances, and I thought the album was really, really good. I just think they need to tighten up a couple of screws for next time, but definitely stick to the style. Add in a bit more of a Spanish flair. I think that would benefit them greatly. I am looking forward to what the next one will bring, though. I do have a lot of hope for this project. Next up, we go to Orlando, Florida with Trivium and their 10th album In the Court of the Dragon. So, I listened to what the Dead Men Say, and I thought the album was really, really good. It wasn't one of my favourites of 2020. I gave it an A-, because... And I think part... Oh, accidentally hit my cat on the head. I think part of the reason I gave it that was because... it was my first full Trivium album, and I really liked it, but I was trying to impress people. I don't really have to lie as much with this one, though. I'm giving it an A, and I really enjoyed this a lot more than the last one. I love how it leans into... Basically, the band made their own D&D mythology, and I don't really play D&D. I think it's a bit too much micromanaging. For me, I like a much simpler sort of game, but goddamn, like, I just really enjoyed it. It's super heavy, got really good lyrical themes. I like how they tap into more of a fantasy thing for this one. And yeah, just so much to like about it. Obviously, Matt Heafy is still a great guitarist and a really good vocalist. Like their new drummer, whose name I forget, Alex Bentz, is that him? Let me just click this really quick. It is. This is his third album with them, I think, so he is fitting in quite well. Honestly, all of the performances are just really, really solid. It's got really great production. I mean, it's got the same label and producer as last time, so that stands a chance, doesn't it, you know? I think it is better than what the Dead Men Say, personally. And it's only my second album by them, and they've got 10 of the fuckers. Goddamn. So, yeah, I really like this one. Lyrics great. Riffs and solos great. It's good. It's really, really good. It is a bit long, but it fills that length and pads it out really, really well, and not in a boring way, so yeah. Also, I recommend this one. And finally, we head to Claremont, California, with We Are Scientists for their 7th album, Huffy. Now, this is a band I've known about, or at least heard the name of, before, and from what I know, they do most of the same sort of stuff. I mean, this is their 7th album. They've been around since like 2000, 2001. And they do have a tendency to repeat themselves. This was my first full album by them, and I'm giving it a C+. It's got sort of the stuff I would expect from what I've heard of them, like, references to comedy, because they do see themselves as sort of a... They're fans of comedy, because there's only, like, 2 dudes in the group. And fans of, like, hashtag relatable things. I think I'm giving it the C+, though, because, like, it is a charming and sort of quirky-ish bit of indie rock, but it's not like the most original thing I've heard. Is like, yeah, it is charming, but that's it. Like, there's not really a lot that goes on. There's a middling pace to it all. The production's really good and does save it, and the band do perform well. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's average. It fills the gap it's supposed to fill. Is the point I'm trying to make. Obviously, it's not the worst thing, but I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to their next one, especially if it's just going to sound a bit like this. Thing is, like, this has gotten a more positive response than previous ones. I'm like, meh, it's a meh album, but more on the positive side of meh. There's still something to enjoy about it, so. And that's it, another 6 albums is done. Next week there will be another 6, unless I can get the albums graded a bit quicker, and I might be able to put that one out sooner than expected. But for what's next from me, something small, PBW vs ABW returning tomorrow night. I've got the card all set up already, so yeah, looking forward to that. And not much else besides that. Maybe an episode of Music of the Week if I can get the albums done, and obviously I've got to work on the rest of Fall Out Boy's albums, so yeah, don't really have much else besides that. And I'll see you tomorrow night for the return of PBW vs AVW, and as always, thank you for watching Eurozone. Bye bye.